Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Hence back with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing my predictions for what the next event is going to be, and also the predictions for who I think are going to win the MSPs for the next event, and why. And I also have a few, I'm pretty confident on 4 of them on this list. Maybe between 4 and 6 I'm very confident in, and then the remaining 4 to 6 I'm like kind of 50-50 on. But obviously we'll hop into the first one right away. But before we do that, I just want to say we're very close to 1,600 subscribers. If we can hit 1,600 subscribers on this video, that would be greatly appreciated. So if you guys aren't subscribed yet, please check, please look, please see if you can subscribe and see if we can hit 1,600 subscribers on this video. Now let's hop right into it. Slavkovsky. The reason why I think Slavkovsky is going to win one is for a bunch of reasons. I think he's the most set in stone going to win one, and if he doesn't, we riot type of situation, because there has been not a single Montreal Canadian MSP. You might say, well, what about Shea Weber? He's a Nashville MSP. He was listed under Nashville, not under Montreal, so he's technically not a Habs MSP. So we haven't had a Montreal MSP yet. So that's the first major thing as to why I think Slavkovsky's going to get one. The second one is that last year Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki both got MSPs, which means that I don't think they're going to get another one this year. And same with Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach also got one, which leads to my next point. This is going to be a Young Guns event. Young Stars, I think it's called, or Young something. Future Stars, maybe? I don't know what it's called. Future Stars is FIFA. Anyway, it's going to be like a young players event where they're going to give a bunch of the young players MSPs. They do it every year, and I think it's going to be the next one. We saw leaks in the game, in the search menu on the game. So I'm 99.99% sure that this is going to be the next event, and I do think that MSPs are going to be 92 or 93 overall. I'm leaning towards 92 still, but maybe 93. It just depends on what EA, maybe it'll be 93, because we've had 4 weeks in a row of 92 overall MSPs, so maybe it'll be 93 this time. So I'm going to guess 93 overall MSPs for these, 93 overalls for these MSPs. And the first one I have is Slavkovsky, for the reasons I mentioned before. The second one, if we can head back over to the NHL here, he does actually have a card in the game. It's going to be another pretty obvious one. It's going to be from the Seattle Kraken, and it's going to be Maddie Beniers. Now, the reason why I think they're going to give Maddie Beniers a card is the same reason they gave Kaprizov a card in NHL 21. He doesn't have headshot, he doesn't have card, any headshots or anything like that in the game, so they can't give him special cards throughout the year. But what they can do is they can give him an MSP, which would tide us over till the end of the year. So I do think Maddie Beniers is going to get one for that reason, and it's also the reason why I think a few of these other cards are going to get MSP. Now, do I think Maddie Beniers will be a good MSP? That's another story. Just based off this 87 overall card, if he got a +6, yeah, sure, he would be fast. Sure, he'd have a decent shot. Sure, he'd have okay hands. But 89 endurance, 93 balance isn't great for 93 overall. I think he'll be a solid card. But unless he gets some of the boosts like the All-Star cards did, I don't think he's going to be the best card. Just because he's only 178, he's a little bit small in terms of the weight, not in terms of the size, obviously. But maybe if he gets something like 99 faceoffs, he could be worth it. But we'll see when the time comes. The third player, sorry if I sound a bit congested, by the way, that before I start, I'm a little bit congested today. The third player does not have a card in the game, but I do think for the same reason as Maddie Beniers, he will get one. It is going to be Owen Power from the Buffalo Sabres. Now, as I mentioned, he doesn't have a card in the game, but I do think that he could get a card in the game in this next event, and I think that he would be one of the must-makes along with Slavkovsky. I think those are the 2 must-makes from this event if they both get a card. A lot of people are banking on Owen Power getting a card. He's 6'5", I believe, 200 and some odd pounds. He's going to be a big guy. They're probably going to give him some nice abilities too. I don't know how fast they're going to make him, but he's not super slow in real life, so I think they can make a pretty decent card. He's a left-handed defenseman, which a lot of people need on their team right now. And I know for sure that I would make him and I would make Slavkovsky from this event if they both came out. But yeah, Owen Power is going to be my third prediction. Fourth prediction, another player that's not currently in the game, but he is on the Minnesota Wild. And for the same reason as Maddie Beniers and for the same reason as Owen Power, I'm going to say Matt Boldy is going to get a Team of the Year. I don't think he has a card already game. No, he does not. I remember now. I remember at the beginning of the year, everybody was asking where it was. And if you guys don't know, it's not EA's fault that they don't have the card arts in the game or the headshots in the game. The teams have to send them to EA. EA can't just rip a random headshot online because they don't have the rights to those images and they could get, sued for that. So they have to have the team headshots from the teams. And that's the only way they'll be able to get the headshots in the game. However, they can use pictures from the players on their team. So for example, they can use a picture of, Owen Power with the puck on the ice, and then they could make a card art out of that. Or they could do like an animated picture, which I've done before. So, that's what I would recommend. That's what I would say that's going to happen with these cards for the card art. Matt Boldy is my 4th prediction. He would be another one of those really solid cards. He's big, he's strong, he's heavy, and he's like a bit of a power forward almost. So I think he would be another one of those really good cards. If you're a Minnesota Wild fan, shout out to I'm Def in the Discord and the Twitch chat. He is a big Wild fan and he would love this card, so hopefully we get it for that reason, but also because he needs a card in the game because he's one of the best young players in the NHL, and I do think he will get a card. Now, I have one other one. I couldn't find his card. He might be under the Toronto Marlies, maybe, but if he's not, I'm sorry. I'm just going to see if I can... No, there's nothing here. Well, we're just going to call it out. It's going to be Nick Robertson from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, the reason I think Nick Robertson is going to get one is because... Oh, he does have one here. Perfect. The reason I think Nick Robertson is going to get one is because they're going to want some Leafs representation. It's going to bring them some money in. He's a really young, promising player for the Leafs, and I think that he could get one. He would get a super boosted shot. The only problem with him is that he's a horrible building game. He's only 5'9", he's only 183. He's not even that super fast. Well, I guess he kind of is fast at an 81 overall. 87 speed is actually pretty fast. So if he got a plus, 11 overall, 12 overall, he's going to get plus 6 speed to that, so he's going to be 93 speed, 93 acceleration. But he is going to be a bit small, so I would stay away from this card. But he is not a bad card to, look at getting if he does come out if you're a Leafs fan. However, I am not a Leafs fan, so I'm steering clear of that card. The next one that I'm going to talk about is another one from the Seattle Kraken. I'm not 100% sure if this card is going to get it. I don't even know if he's listed under the Seattle Kraken in this game. He is. And it is going to be Shane Wright. Now, do I think Shane Wright could get one? 100%. Do I think he will get one? I don't know. I think they would prefer to give it to Maddie Beniers just because Shane Wright already had a special card in the Team Canada card in the Nations of Hockey event. But you know what? You never know. I think there's a world in which Shane Wright does get a card, and I think that it will be a half-decent card. He has horrible endurance for some reason. I don't know. He would be an okay card. We all know that his 90 rated card was very good when it first came out. It's really kind of past the meta curve right now. It's not really super usable at this very moment. But I do think Shane Wright would be a fun card to use if we got him. I just don't know how confident I am. And I would say that Maddie Beniers is definitely going to get one over Shane Wright. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about is somebody who I'm also not super confident in. But I did have to pick a goalie for this. And I was not sure what goalie I wanted to pick. So I decided to go with, one of the young promising goalies on one of their teams. Who was the starter last year, but now the backup from the Boston Bruins. We have, if I can find him here, Jeremy Swayman. Jeremy Swayman's 23 years old, which means I think he still makes the cut for being one of the young players in the league. He doesn't have the best goalie building game, but if they give him some nice abilities and some nice synergies, he could be pretty fun to use if you're a Boston fan. I wouldn't personally make him because obviously I'm a Habs fan and I hate the Bruins, but I think he's my goalie selection. There's really not a lot of super young goalies in the NHL. The other one that I was going to look at was the guy from the Carolina Hurricanes. I forget what his name is. I don't even know if he's on the roster. But he is one of their goalies that they called up at the end of the season. I don't know where he is on the roster, but it starts with a K. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I think he's the other option that we could get for the goalie. But I would lean a little bit more towards Swayman because he's a little bit more established in the league at this point, and I think that he could get one. So the next three that I kind of have four left, but I put them into kind of three categories because I wanted to make it an even 10, but the last one could be one of two players from the same team. So let's go with number 8 here. I have one of my favorite promising young players in the NHL at this point, and I don't know if he's not on the roster actually for the Arizona Coyotes, but it is Dylan Guenther. I think he's a very promising young prospect. I loved watching him in the World Juniors. He's a very good player. He had a Team of the Season card in NHL 21, I want to say, for the Edmonton Oil Kings. It was a very good card. I had it. So I think that Genther could easily win one of the spots on this list. He's young. He scored the golden goal at the World Juniors. And I think he's a very reasonable option to get picked for this selection. And yeah, so that's why I think Genther could get one. Ninth, I have Mason McTavish. I also don't know if he has a picture in game. I think he does, right? I could be wrong. Yeah, he does. Okay, so Mason McTavish is my next one. He's 19 years old. He's got a bit of a worse build for HUT. He's not a horrible build, but if they give him like 99 faceoffs or something with a little bit more speed than he has on this card right here, he could be a pretty solid one. I just don't think he's better than, you know, Slavkovsky or Power or Boldy, who are like the main three that I would recommend making from this event, and then one more that I'm going to mention. But I'd say he's in like the 3-4 spot, or the 4-5 spot, sorry, for this event in terms of priority of making, unless you're a Ducks fan, which there's not a lot of, or a Mason McTavish fan like I am, because I am from Hamilton and he played on the Bulldogs, so I'm a big fan of him. So I might look to make this card just to make a Bulldogs team, but you know, maybe that'll be later on in the year, just not right now, since I am still, you know, I'm going to be remaining to be free to play for the rest of the year. In other words, I'm not going to buy any more points for my account. So Mason McTavish is my 9th pick, and just to round out the video super quickly, we have our 10th pick, which is between one of two players, Mason McTavish or Mo Sider. Now, or sorry, not Mason McTavish, Lucas Raymond or Mo Sider. Now, the reason why I'm going to not pick Mo Sider for this one is because he has a fantasy card already. If I can find it here. He's got an 89 overall currently, fantasy card. So I don't think he's going to get an MSP, but I could see Lucas Raymond getting an MSP for this event. He's a card that I had last year. I had his fantasy card last year, who obviously didn't get super high overall, but I used him for a while. He wasn't the best card in the world. I didn't love him, but he definitely, certainly could be a good card if you got some boosted stats and some nice abilities with his MSP. I don't know why he's listed as a two-way forward, but it is what it is. So yeah, I do think that Lucas Raymond could be a decent card. If Sider got one, he would be a very good card. But we have enough right-handed defensemen in the game at this point, so we wouldn't really need a Sider. So yeah, those are my final predictions. I'm going to say, I'll go over them all again super quickly. 1, Uri Slavkovsky. 2, Maddie Beniers. 3, Owen Power. 4, Matt Boldy. 5, Nick Robertson. 6, Shane Wright. 7, Jeremy Swayman. 8, Dylan Genther. 9, Mason McTavish. And 10, Lucas Raymond / Mo Sider. If you guys do agree with any of these, drop them in the comment section below. If you want to make your own predictions, also drop them in the comment section below. If I see any names in there that I didn't really think of, I might like heart your comment and drop a little comment below saying like, oh yeah, that's probably a good pick. I'd use him instead of this person. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.